What's going on, you guys? In today's episode of NFL Schedule Predictions, we have the Indianapolis Colts. So the Colts finished the 2024 campaign with an 8-9 record, missing the playoffs for their fourth year in a row.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
This year, they're going to be hoping to capture their first AFC title in 10 years. The Colts have made a few splashes this offseason, most notably picking up Danny Dimes in hopes that this guy will be their answer to their horrible quarterback situation. Going into some of their other notable offseason moves, I'll start off with their draft. They picked up Tyler Warren, who I have as the best tight end coming out of the draft this year. This guy should be able to be plugged in with either one of these quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson or Danny Dimes. I think we have a solid chance at witnessing Brock Bowers 2.0 here. This guy could definitely come in and put up Brock Bowers-esque numbers. I also really like JT Tuimoloau out of Ohio State. He was one of those top edge rushers that they had there. You put him onto this already beefy defensive line. I love their interior. So you add this guy on the other side of Latu if he can step up, and this defensive line could be something nice this year. I also really like Justin Wally, cornerback out of Minnesota. Their secondary was a huge issue last year. So as you'll see, the Colts did a really nice job at addressing that position. And my surprise pick of the draft was actually Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. I was really curious to see where he'd end up in the draft. You saw a lot of him in college. I watched him a whole bunch, and I think the Colts getting him late in the draft is actually a pretty good insurance policy there in case their top two quarterbacks were not to work out, which I believe could be pretty likely because I really don't like Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. So I think the Colts had an average draft, but in free agency and through trades is where they really shined. Obviously, they picked up Daniel Jones. That is the biggest news. I'll spoil it right now. I've watched Daniel Jones his whole career. I'm a Cowboys fan. Every time we played the guy, I was like, let's go. This is going to be free. It's Daniel Jones. He's going to screw up somewhere. You could argue that he had a nice 2022 campaign, but he had Saquon going for 1,300 yards. The Giants had a really nice supporting cast there. And I'm sure you've heard the saying, even a blind squirrel can find an acorn from time to time. That's Danny Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the other really big additions the Colts got was Charvarius Ward from San Francisco. I think he's going to start day one and probably be their best starter in that secondary. They also picked up Cameron Bynum, safety there. So it's clear that the Colts really went hard when addressing their secondary. You got to have a guy like Charvarius Ward in this division. I think the AFC South is still the weakest division in football, but you cannot deny that they have some monsters at the wide receiver position. You're playing against Nico Collins, Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas. You got Calvin Ridley. You're seeing all these guys twice a year. So you have to have some dogs in the secondary if you want to find success in this division. The Colts also signed Khalil Herbert. I think he's going to be a really nice running back 2 option there. The Colts always have to think about who is that guy because you see Jonathan Taylor's injury history. Now, their two biggest losses, in my opinion, are center Ryan Kelly and guard Will Fries. Both of those guys went to the Vikings. Kelly's been the Colts center for almost 10 years now. He's a cornerstone in that offensive line on the other side of Quentin Nelson. So it sucks to see him go. He's pretty important when it comes to that run game. Same goes with Will Fries. But because the Colts still have some anchors there on the offensive line, I wouldn't expect to see a ton of regression coming out of their production, like running wise. If somewhere deep down in one of these two quarterbacks, they can find a little bit of success, this offensive cast is sneakily one of the best in the league. You got weapons everywhere. You got Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell, Alec Pierce really came on last season, and now you add Tyler Warren. If Daniel Jones can just encapsulate a little bit of what he used to be, he just has to not turn the ball over 3 times a game. This team could easily go 500 just because of this offense. So yeah, Vegas has the Colts winning 7.5 football games this season. Like I've already said, it's gonna come down to this quarterback play. Do you believe in the Colts quarterbacks? I personally do not. So let's go ahead and break this schedule down. You guys go ahead and let me know your predictions down below, and let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off with week 1, it's important to address who do I think their starting quarterback's going to be. If I had to put my money on it, I'm saying Daniel Jones is probably going to lead this team into the 2025 season. Anthony Richardson is coming off in an injury. Nobody knows how healthy he's going to be. You keep hearing people say, this is a prove-it year for him. I'm in the minority that would already say it's time to pull the plug on the Anthony Richardson project. The guy is a turnover machine. In the games that he has started his first 2 seasons, he hasn't been anything special. I think he's a huge disappointment because the Colts kind of reached on him in the draft there. He came from the same draft class of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, and then you got a guy who only played played a handful of games in college. So they knew it was a risk from the beginning. I know the Colts are going to be stubborn and not want to move on from him this early, but I think if they want to have the highest chance at success, you got to start the veteran. And if Daniel Jones gets injured and Anthony Richardson starts whooping ass in practice, then they might start him. So with that in mind, the Colts are one of 4 NFL teams to start the season off with 2 straight games at home. I still don't like them to win them though. I'm going to go ahead and give wins to both Miami and Denver to start off Indianapolis' season. I'm sorry, Colts fans, I just don't believe in y'all's quarterback situation, and both of these teams are already a little bit proven. I see both of them being playoff contenders in 2025. If they can reach the quarterbacks in either of these games, it might be a different story, but for right now, I just think Miami and Denver match up a little bit too nicely against the Colts. Go ahead and give me L's to start the season.
I just hope we can win a game.
But I do like the Colts to rebound and win on the road in Tennessee. This is week 3. I really don't like Tennessee this season. I think they're going to repeat as one of the worst teams in the league. Go ahead and give me the Colts to finish off the Titans. I like the Rams in week 4. Like I said, mainly due to quarterback play. They now have Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Even with Charvarius Ward, I think the secondary has a high chance at getting exposed. Go ahead and give me the Rams in the week 4 game. Week 5, we got a pretty interesting one. This is a home game versus Las Vegas. Like I was saying earlier, I think the Colts actually have a really good interior defensive line. I think the Raiders' biggest thing this season is going to be their rushing game. I really don't love Geno Smith, so I think they're going to rely heavily on Ashton Genty this season. Go ahead and give me the Colts to shut that down and take care of business at home versus the Raiders. But I do like Arizona to come into town the following week and beat the Colts. This is also going to be a really tough one for Indianapolis. On the road in LA, you got Justin Herbert, a stacked offense. I think Harbaugh has finally assembled a really scary roster. I like the Chargers to go places this season. Go ahead and give me another loss. Now, this is followed up with an early sweep of their division rivals, the Tennessee Titans. I really do expect the Titans to repeat as 4th place in this division. Go ahead and give me the sweep early in the season for the Colts.
What the fuck is going on?
And I'm sorry, but go ahead and give me a loss following right after that game. This is on the road in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh actually just picked up Jalen Ramsey to go along with all these other fancy washed up offseason additions they've been pulling in. I think Pittsburgh's going to be one of those teams right around 500, maybe just a little bit better than the Colts. I like this one mainly just because they're in Pittsburgh. So go ahead and give the Colts another loss.
We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game.
And next up, we have an interesting one. This is actually in a neutral site. This is a Germany game. This is Indianapolis versus Atlanta in Berlin. Go ahead and give me the Colts to win this one versus Atlanta. Kind of a similar situation over there. You got an unproven quarterback in Penix. You never know if they're going to start Kirk later on in the season. But for right now, I actually think the Colts match up nicely against the Falcons roster. Go ahead and give me the win here. The Colts' first 4 games coming off that bye, 3 of them are on the road against teams that could easily be above 500 this season. Go ahead and give me the loss on the road in Kansas City. Shouldn't have to explain myself too much on that one. But I actually do follow this up with a win versus Houston. For some reason, the Colts have Houston's number from time to time. They always keep it pretty close. I forgot to mention, but the Colts did actually lose their kicker, Matt Gay. So if this one comes down to a field goal, Houston might get blessed there. I do like the Colts to win the home game versus Houston, but split later on in the season. I also have kind of the same deal going for the Jaguars. I'm not in love with either team. I think they're kind of on the same playing field. But because this one is on the road in Jacksonville, I went ahead and gave the Jags this one. And following up that Jacksonville game, we go on the road in Seattle. I don't think Sam Darnold was the answer that the Seahawks were looking for, so I do think the Colts could definitely sneak this one out in Seattle, but for right now, I gave the Seahawks the win. And then we get into the Colts' lone primetime game of the season. For some reason, their only primetime matchup is a Monday Night Football game at home versus San Francisco. This is the Charvarius Ward revenge game, I suppose. I definitely think Indianapolis could pull this one off on Monday Night Football, but at this point in the season, I think it's clear that their playoff hopes are shot. This is probably when we're going to be seeing a little bit of Anthony Richardson football. So for the sake of the schedule prediction, I went ahead and gave the 49ers a win, handing the Colts their 3rd straight loss.
We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked.
And this is that home Jacksonville game I was talking about. Go ahead and give the Colts a win here and wrap it up with a loss on the road in H-Town. I think the Colts are already going to be happy splitting with the Texans in the first place. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. I have the Colts going 6-11 this season. When it comes to Vegas's line of 7.5 wins, I'm going to have to take the lower for the Indianapolis Colts. But that is not to say that there's not a universe where this team could win more than that. Like I've said so many times in this video, it comes down to quarterback play. I see this team having a ceiling of 10 wins. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one. To be fair, Shane Steichen should have been in the Coach of the Year conversation for even being able to get that team last year to 8 wins. This season, I think they're coming down a little bit back to earth, but that's not to say I don't think this team has a really bright future. I love a lot of their offensive pieces, and they have some stars on defense. So maybe looking ahead to next year in the draft, if they can make something crazy happen and truly get a top 10 quarterback, I think it might be another season before we see the Colts back in the playoffs.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
But that's going to do it for today, guys. If you would, please go ahead and leave me a like and a subscribe on this video, and go ahead and comment your predictions down below. And the next one, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you.